So,
This Christian brother was giving some historical sources. He was naming Josephus and Tacitus. I want to ask
Yeah.
him which scholar has he read about this text which he's quoting. No,
Yeah.
the question is simple. Which study has he read about Josephus or Tacitus? Which scholarship?
No, I just have a scholar, Peter J. Williams, and Westhoff. Those two I can attest to about the historical about Jesus Christ crucifixion. But I don't have the source with me right now. So yeah.
Now, I was asking about Josephus. Which scholarship have you read about Josephus which you are quoting?
I'm talking about Josephus' Book of Antiquities in the first century. Even though people say it's a forgery, yeah, maybe they're talking about the resurrection and stuff like that and calling him a Messiah.
My friend, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the text of Josephus. I'm talking about the
Okay.
scholarship commenting about the text of Josephus. Which scholarship have you read?
I don't have necessarily scholarship on Josephus, but I have scholarship on Tacticus. If you want Tacticus, I can talk about Peter J. Williams. He talks about
So you didn't have
Tacticus.
nothing about Josephus, yeah?
Not necessarily. I can look
Okay.
it up if you want to.
Now
But
let me ask you something then.
are you only
The
concerned
text
about
of book
Josephus?
18 which you are quoting,
Wait, are you
what
only
is the
concerned?
earliest
Wait.
attestation of
Let
the
me ask you
text?
a question first because you just yapping. Are you only concerned about Josephus? Is that why you're
No,
bothered?
Josephus is the earliest one. We get to Tacitus after that. So you
Okay.
brought them up. I'm asking you, what is the
Else-
earliest attestation of book 18 of Josephus which you are quoting? What is the earliest attestation? Could you tell people?
Yeah, I would think it's in the before the first century, or during the first century.
You base that
Yeah, on a quick search.
on quick search. Interesting. Let me give you some scholarship. Maybe they can
Are
figure
you a
it out for
historian?
you.
Are you a historian? Before I take your
No,
advice.
I'm quoting historian. I told you, let me give you a scholarship. Who am I to know? I don't know nothing. This is a Steve Mason, who is a scholarship of Josephus and first century Christianity. He says this: there are about 31 Greek and 146 Latin manuscripts known to us from the 10th to 15th century. So scholarship is saying 10th century. Why did you say the second century? Why did you say that?
No, because we have the Book of Antiquities was completed in the I think in the before the first during the first century, 93 and between 93 and 94 AD, if I'm correct.
You keep repeating the same argument. I'm asking you, what is your evidence for that? A scholarship is saying the earliest one is Codex BB of the 10th century. So please give us one manuscript
If it
which
was
goes
a
back to the
manuscript,
second century.
if
Otherwise, why are you making all of these claims?
if it was a manuscript, so that means it was copied, right? If it was a manuscript,
Or it was made up in the 4th century?
not necessarily. You have
Exactly.
proof of
So
that,
give us a manuscript of the 2nd century then.
bro. If I don't have a manuscript on me right now, but I'm attesting to what my scholars say, like not what the scholars
I
say.
told you one scholar, Steve Mason, who's naming you and telling you how many manuscripts you have. He goes on to say 12th century Latin antiquities 127 if F is in British Library.
Yeah,
And
but
the
the
earliest one
man,
is fractions of the Latin manuscript of the 9th century.
but
But
the
they
manuscripts are
cannot be
copied.
original, he says.
Yeah, they're
A
copied.
scholarship.
Probably yes, but that's how manuscripts work, bro. They're copied and copied and copied. It makes sense. So
Exactly. The
why?
earliest one is from the 9th century. Please give
How?
us one which goes earlier.
Okay, what? In what? I don't have a writing for me. It's from the first century, but why do you
Okay,
say you live in
why
the
you keep
second
saying
century?
second century then? If these writings come to
I
you
never
from the
said
ninth
second.
century
I
and
said
this is
during
the
the first
text which
century.
they are copying, why are you saying second century
If the
text?
text are copying, definitely, then it means that he wrote during the first century and the
So
second
you are
century.
assuming, yeah? No
Just
evidence, just
theoretically.
assumption, yeah?
There's no assumptions. Just by logical thinking, you can know that if somebody, a historian like Josephus, lived during the first century and the second century, you definitely have writings about it, and the writings were copied Just think logically.
Okay, do
your-
you have any evidence,
person
man?
to-
Your logic, you can keep it for yourself and your Trinity.
Yeah, see,
Asking
bro,
you,
I'm not
do you
gonna
have
talk to
any
this guy.
evidence for
I don't
that?
want to talk to this guy. He's too much in his feelings. Like, just yapping.
Too
bro.
much. The one who's quoting scholarship. I'm the one who's quoting your manuscript. I'm the one who quoting you the centuries. What did you say? Use your logic. I told you
Yes,
keep your
because
logic for
if a
yourself.
historian
What is your
living,
evidence?
if a
So
historian
nothing,
living
yeah?
the first century
No evidence, yeah?
and the second
Just say no
century,
evidence.
he definitely wrote.
Come on, man. Just say no
Bro,
evidence.
just think logically. Manuscripts are being copied. It makes sense. If he lives during, if that
Okay,
historian
no
lived
evidence.
during
Then
the
say I
first
have no evidence. I have my logic. Say that, please. Be honest. Say I don't have no evidence. I'm just making it up based on my logic.
Brothers have a problem with Josephus. Like, I don't know
So no
why.
answer. Everybody heard it, yeah?
Because I don't have a
He has
manuscript
nothing.
evidence doesn't deny the fact that Josephus wrote about Jesus in the
Sure, I
first.
told you you can keep your
second
logic for
century.
yourself. Tell us you don't
Okay,
have
no
no
problem.
evidence,
Okay,
only
no
your
problem.
assumption.
It's
Now
not
let's
my
go to
assumption.
Tacitus.